If I do or say something that is considered offensive in your culture, and it wasn't intentionally done for the purpose of being offensive, then I apologize. Each verse has a reason for being in the Bible. Instead of just reading it, try to figure out why it was included. Sudan will be known as the place where I either first brought Islam and Christianity together in peace as one, or it will be known as the first place where I stamped out Islam. One of the best choices I made while in prison was signing up for Toastmasters, which taught me the mechanics of delivering an effective speech. The ability to give a persuasive, inspirational speech that compels people to action will make me unstoppable. I believe I would have won my criminal case if it wasn't for the fact that I was represented by lawyers who failed to adequately represent me. Their failure to exert themselves and take the necessary steps in order to provide me with a reasonable defense caused me to be unjustly convicted. The situation was further aggravated by an appeal habeas process that is so corrupt that it is nearly impossible to get relief even when you raise claims like mine that should have mandated relief. I believe my case warrants further review to correct the injustice. The temple priests, after consultation, apparently accepted the blood sacrifice of Jesus, but only for the poor, spiritually dead stranger, non-Jew, who could not even afford to buy grain from the field to make an offering to the temple for their cleansing. Even today, many Jews still believe that Jesus is okay for the Gentile, but not the blind Jew, which is a shame and a very blind viewpoint, since he died to redeem all people from hell. Jesus asks us to turn the other cheek and pray for those that persecute us. This is one of the hardest rules for me to follow, because if you disrespect me, I feel that it is my duty to teach you a lesson so that you won't do it to someone else. I don't disrespect us, and I can't stand anyone who does. You are not better than others. Everyone in the kingdom is an equal. Therefore, you don't have the right to disrespect people, look down on them, ignore them, or oppress them. If I catch you acting this way, I will do my best, even though it may not be very Jesus-like, to take corrective action in order to humble you so that you'll learn not to continue in the unacceptable behavior. God is closer to you than anyone you know because he knows the real you. He knows what's really in your heart. And even though your heart may be filled with evil, he knows you still have a true desire in your heart to be loved, to be held, and to have someone who really cares for you. Let God be that one who does that for you. Muslims, where have you come from and where are you going? Destroying human embryos in order to harvest material that can be used to treat other humans is morally wrong, when there are currently other means available to obtain the same material. Using the excuse that the embryos are going to be destroyed anyway since they are left over from people who attempted an unnatural fertilization technique would not even be available as an excuse if those techniques were also outlawed as being morally wrong. Using unnatural fertilization techniques in order to have a child is morally wrong when there are currently millions of other children available who don't have parents and need to be adopted. When a servant is reduced to immoral servitude, slavery, the master is not elevated, but rather is himself reduced to an abomination. Saying that such things as smoking is a sin is teaching as doctrines the commandments of man. Let me clear up a slight misunderstanding. There are things in the heart that can defile a man. Matthew 15:18. This is different than the impression I was trying to leave when I said that smoking was not a sin that defiles the body, the temple of the Holy Spirit. I use the example of all other sins but sexual immorality as being outside of the body. 1 Corinthians 6:18. To try and prove my point, and therefore can't defile the body. But other things can defile a man. However, even if it could be argued that the words body and man are synonymous, it still does not get around the truth that it's not what goes in your mouth, 15:11, such as food or cigarette smoke, 1 Corinthians 6:12, that needs to be eliminated. But what comes out of the mouth, since it's what comes out of your mouth that reflects the true nature of your heart.